sometimes I get tired of modern society, conventions and whatnot. I'm well, I'm up there in age, and when I was growing up, it was a little more chaotic, I guess. I'm a Generation Xer, okay, right? Generation Xer, right? So obviously, I'm up in age, all right, and still spry enough to get around and do things. So when, as you can see from my content output, all right, it's one of the things I do. I want to give something back to other guys that's following in my footsteps. You know, I want to make sure that they have some record or some life lessons, something they could go to when they need it and whatnot. Because when I was going through this, I didn't have anything like that. Okay, the internet was in its infancy, and I existed long before it, arose. So I had, did what I had to do, with limited information up until that time. And it took me a long time to get to where I am today. Right? Started out with a whole lot of optimism and shit. And I guess, thematically, you would consider me somewhat of a Sith Lord. All right? I am a, I'm a misogynist anarchist, okay? And the reason I'm that is because I believe that our community needs a hard reset by any means necessary and shit, okay? I'm a proponent of chaos theory within our own ethnic community here in the colonies. And the reason I'm going on this little diatribe right now is because I'm going to say some really mean shit about a woman that's on social media that I hadn't even bothered to look up her name. And I don't know if I'll post her name. You can just read it if I leave her name uncovered in the video. But I'm just tired of the bullshit. All right? I'm frustrated. I've already made a video addressing this. Uh, Stockholm syndrome that's affecting our women. I'm tired of it and shit. I'm tired of being nice. I want to be a bull in a china shop and just say what I want to say and shit. When I was coming up, a lot of black women were really cruel. Okay, they were cruel and shit if they didn't like you or nothing. I don't have no hangups about black women liking pookies and gangbangers and drug dealers. I don't have no kind of hangups about that. I'm a live and let live type and shit. Just don't get in my fucking way. You know, I'm the first sign on the zodiac wheel and shit, astrologically speaking and shit. So that makes it pretty dangerous. I'm actually two signs and shit. If you're into that stuff. So I have four horns with which to gore you, and I'm gonna use at least two of them to gore this bitch now. All right. There's a fat, ugly woman that looks like a black Cabbage Patch doll. She's all busted and shit. She does not have any physical attributes that a man would have need of unless he was fresh out of jail and shit and had been in solitary for like at least a year or two. All right, she's fucked up. She's wearing a weave. She's all jacked up and she has this overinflated opinion of herself, which is total bullshit. When I look at her face, she knows that she ain't shit. She knows she's ugly. Okay, she's ugly. All right, I'm doing this woman a favor. When I was a kid and shit, yeah, a lot of the sisters, specifically the dark skinned ass sisters, were just savage. They were savage. They even put their hands on you and shit, for certain things or for reasons if they fucking felt like it and shit. And we were trained to like you don't hit no girl or all this shit. And I didn't want to like fight no girl and shit. But I had a very sharp tongue and shit. So a lot of people had pause because they know I could verbally destroy them. It's kind of like Dave Chappelle level of verbal conflict, which I would win. And this wasn't good growing up in the shy because I got rolled a lot by gang members and shit from the Black Gangster Disciples and equally from the Blackstone Rangers. I have the pleasure of having been gang beaten by both different gangs. I live right in the middle of their territories. Growing up, I live there now. And I can tell you, growing up, I got rolled at least 5 or 6 times by groups of guys from both gangs, and I was threatened by Latin kings. All right, and I experienced racism in Bridgeport, the Bridgeport area of Chicago, passing through. Someone threw a bottle at the bus that I was riding on, and I was leaning my head against the plexiglass window, and it hit the window. So, I've seen a lot of shit. And I'm just not in the mood. I'm an elder statesman of this bitch. And I want to tell this woman, you're ugly and unappealing, okay? No one should spend any money other than buying you a fucking White Castle, and you'll have to split the money on some fries and a drink and shit, okay? And if it's like Christmas or something, I will buy you some onion rings and maybe a small soda, okay? You don't rank nothing, all right? I wouldn't even show you my, I wouldn't show her my penis or nothing, I would be like, oh, we could just be friends, all right? We could just be friends. And I'd be lying and shit, because I would ghost you. Like, she has an overinflated ego and shit. And I'm just tired of, for the last couple of fucking days, hence this recording, I have been looking at women just failing and shit. It's spiritual and shit, man. All they're talking about is money, money, money. All right, it ain't about shit else. If you listen very closely. Every time you see these videos for whatever reason, everything is about some fucking money and shit, but they don't have no goddamn money. They always talking about some six figures, this and, this kind of salary and all this shit, but they have no money. They're always sitting in their fucking car and shit, wearing their white woman disguise. I'm tired of looking at it. I want to see something different. I want to see a better class of woman and shit. Not even for myself, you know? Not even for myself, for future generations. I want to know that black people are going to survive and shit, but we can't with these women. All they care about is money and toys and shit and laid up and shit. And they always bitching about a dude playing, being a Madden King and all that shit. And I say, fuck them. Now, if you want to play a video game, play a fucking video game. You want to jerk off to porn, jerk off to porn. Because what you see on that goddamn laptop or your phone is better looking than the shit in front of you. You get with these women, some of them, they look halfway decent. Then the minute they're in a long relationship, they just let themselves go and they get a shitty attitude and they have a sense of ownership of you. I can't explain it. But I want as many black men as humanly possible to escape, you know, to escape. I want, it's an assignment. I want somebody who has access to Disney Plus or bootlegging that shit to watch that show Andor, right? To watch that show Andor, episode 10. Just watch the whole episode, whether you know what's going on or not. You don't know what I'm saying when I say I want you motherfuckers to all en masse run and escape and shit. Okay? I'm tired of it. I'm tired of listening to women talking about money and shit and not bringing shit to that metaphorical table. I'm tired of listening to that shit. Aren't you tired? Aren't we all tired? We've been listening to it for decades, on top of decades. Okay? It takes precedence over what's going on outside of our community and shit. You cannot fight white supremacy when half of your fucking number is fucking stabbing you in the back and shit and putting millstones on your neck. All right? We can't fight that shit, unless we come together and shit. We can't do that. The women are fucked up. They're socially engineered to be a service class and to be an employee. They have an employee mindset. They want something, they just don't know how to get it and shit. They talk about five figures and all this other bullshit. It's crap. Like, why would you want to be with somebody that has a transactional nature? Why would you want that? Who the fuck wants that? Hit me up in my comment section and let me know if you're okay with our women behaving the way they do now. All right? There's some women out there trying to course correct this shit, but I fear it's not enough. You're going to have to let some of that fruit die on the vine. Okay? You have to make the overarching of, grasp of the minority majority, like, you got to stretch that fucking hand until it looks like a talon and shit. And it can barely keep its hands on you. Keep backing up until the claws come out. Until they come out of your flesh. All right? And they come out of your son's flesh. And they come out of your grandson's flesh. And so on and so forth. We have to rebuild our community no matter what. And they're here to stop you. They don't want you to have no fucking dreams. You're just supposed to serve their needs, their immediate needs. Nothing generational, nothing foundational comes from their mindset. All right, they're just into instant gratification. That's why like these bum bitches is always talking about some six figures and what you paying and going to the dinner and the club. It's time to stop going to the fucking club. You know, put that money in your mattress. Okay? Save that shit for a rainy day and get the fuck out of here, brother. Okay, young men, young kings? Save that goddamn money. That pussy ain't worth shit. Okay? The women themselves take the little price tag gun out and put a 99-cent store price on their peace sleeve and shit. That pussy ain't worth shit. There's nothing there except for its, purpose. All right? It's not there to build families and generations. It's not there to combine with you organically and shit and create something beautiful. All right? It's not there for that. It's a service. That's all they think about. Shit is fucking money and shit. And toys and shit. And going to a restaurant and eating what they think are expensive meals and shit. And staying in a hotel and going in the bathroom and taking pictures of their own fucking ass, real or not. It's ridiculous as shit. I would be embarrassed if I was sitting up with a beautiful black woman and they brought our dinners out, and then she takes her phone out and takes a picture of it and shit. Do you know what that makes her look like and shit? She looks like trash. Okay? Trash when you do shit like that, okay? And then you got a lot of these motherfuckers going out in groups and shit. They have their passports and shit, but they don't want you to have a passport. They're going overseas. They're paying for sex over there. They're being egregious about it. They take their shitty attitudes to other countries and they make us look bad. They make us look like infants on the world stage. And that's why people think they can do whatever the fuck they want to you over there, even those goddamn criminals. No brother should be feeling bad about going over there for period interest. Okay? What do we have back here? Okay, what do we have back here? So even some of the best looking women are fake. If you take their white woman costume off, what are you looking at? Are they brave enough to take their white woman costume off and show who they really are? You know? And they do the most fucked up shit. They shouldn't be allowed to have your children with this mindset. You gotta protect your seed, man. You really do. Even if you know that you're low value in their eyes and everything, you protect that seed with your life. All right, you strap up. You know, it's been decades and shit, and they still talking about how we make baby daddies. There's double digit forms of birth control, like 15, 17 forms of birth control, different types of, methods and shit they can use, but they still fucking up. Talking about black men make babies mamas and shit. I'm like, it's your fucking womb. You guys sit up here and scream all the time about my body, my choice, my decision and shit. It's my womb and shit. Fight for me. You know, they're trying to repeal Roe versus Wade and shit. I'm so stupid. I don't know how to close my fucking legs and shit. I don't know how to apply multiple forms of birth controls. There's pills and all kind of shit. Patches, injections, IUD and shit, a diaphragm. Fucking in some extreme cases, get a hysterectomy and shit because you know you're fucked. You shouldn't be having no kids. The worst stewards of our community and shit. And I hate saying that, Hershey, deep down this shit in my heart, okay? Even though I'm a misogynist anarchist. Alright? Now I want to get back to this ugly ass female who says she's a model. And it's fucking laughable. I think it's a joke. I think it's like a movie Trading Places. Somebody bet $2 that they could get her out on that modeling stage to walk up and down, and she looked like a fucking ice potato with two legs sticking out of it and shit, and her face is all dumpy looking. She doesn't look like a real fucking person. She looks like shit. I'll tell her to her fucking face point blank, you're fucked up. You're ugly, okay? I don't want to touch you. You need to do some shit, okay? This is the time for you to take your ass to Florida and get you a $5 BBL and shit and get a tuck. Get a tummy tuck. Get one of those tummy tucks. Everybody has one over there. I get tired looking. I looked at Instagram You see a ton of sisters on there, taking pictures of their own fucking ass in the bathrooms of hotels while they tricking off their bodies and shit to pay for this shit. They're selling their bodies. And then it's fucked up. They all get the same plastic surgery, and they got this weird aesthetic where if you look at them directly from head to toe, from the shoulders to the cuff of their buttocks, it forms a peanut shape, a fat peanut shape, and then you got some skinny ass legs. And I'm like, why would they do this? Why do you fuck up your bodies? But you can't change your eating habits. You can't change your lifestyle and shit. You can't change your work-life balance if you're actually working and not tricking off your shit and fucking up your body. Why are you selling your body and shit? You see all these goddamn women on there like they're living a life of luxury. They ain't doing shit. They're miserable. And you see a lot of motherfuckers in foreign countries, they over there tricking off their bodies. They're selling their bodies to these chicks. It's really shitty. I mean, goddamn, I have to think about since I used to watch wrestling and shit. He's had this motherfucker on there, the $1 Million Man. He used to say everybody has a price, and I think about that every time I see a sister over in Dubai and shit, like some ghetto ass sister sitting their ass up on a camel and shit. Knowing later on they're gonna do all kind of heinous shit, where they're gonna hate themselves, they're gonna kill you because every time they see you, they'll know what they did, and they'll know you're an innocent compared to them. Some of the horrific things they've done for thousands of dollars and shit. From guys that have millions and billions of dollars, that's pocket change. And they see you women as disposable and shit. And I don't even fucking go there, They make some of these sisters bang their animals. Okay? I'll leave it at that and shit. Now, that part of it I want to dedicate to this model named King Steph, who's a fat piece of shit now. But she used to look real good and shit, but she's a fat, angry piece of shit. Okay, she's a prostitute. She got a fucking podcast where she runs down black men all the goddamn time and shit. And I've been meaning to talk about that bitch, and I just thought about her right now when I looked at this ugly ass motherfucker walking around, doing shit, being on TikTok, getting a bunch of views and shit when she knows she busted. She's busted, man. Any nigga in the world is more high value than this female. And that's why I make this goddamn ramble. It's more of a rant now. Is it so wrong to want a partner and shit that's all in? Our community is so fucked up and inverted, morally speaking and shit, that criminals and deviants get more loyalty from our women than we do, like regular people and shit. They thumb their nose at you and shit. This is not some bitter rant. It's sad, man. It's fucked up. It's biblical. What do you think the end result of your fucking bad decisions are? No one's coming to save you. You have to change your shit. All right, and all you fucked up females that made these fucked up decisions, you want some nigga to come save you. Why would he come save you? What is he getting out of it? What is he getting out of it? Can he get a decent night's sleep? Can he get a decent meal out of you? Okay? Can he get a moment of peace and respite under a ceiling with you, sharing a living space with you, without you bitching? And talk about how just doing simple things you do every fucking day anyway is slavery and oppression and shit. You don't know nothing about that, but I fear that you young people under me, under my generation, the Generation Xers, you're gonna know what a true oppression is if you don't already. Alright? Now make this shit, I do what I do, so that young men, I don't care how many people hear this shit, so that somebody will hear this and shit and know they're not alone out there. Okay? You're not alone. I know it's hard sometimes and shit. Going through life, trying to make $1 out of 15 cents and shit. With somebody trying to break your 15 cent in little pieces and shit. Take most of it and leave you with a pittance. A pittance. And then you have to go home, and if there is someone in your house that's supposed to be your companion in life, they spit in your face. And they treat you like shit and they tell you ain't nothing. Alright? And they expect you to go out there and slave until you die in an early grave. All right, and for what? Right? For what? Some peace leave? That's all they have to offer. They don't want to do shit else. They don't even want to raise their own kids. They came out, they snatch. All right, they don't even have no parental skills or anything. And they're not interested in learning any or doing anything else of any fucking merit until they hit the wall. And then they run in that goddamn church and they start that cycle all over again. It's pretty fucked up, okay? This has been my ramble and shit. I started it talking about an ugly female. Now ended talking to that ugly female now. You are fucked up, okay? You fucked up. Now you take a fucking knee to anybody that come near you and shit. And you will be happy. You better get slap your ass and get glad when he take you to an exorbitant, very economic dinner at White Castle.